Hello, today I'm going to be explaining how AWS Amazon Web Service work by explaining my WAMP architecture running on my Windows instance. So the first thing I did was created an account with Amazon Web Service because this is separate from Amazon.com, the website you go to buy things. The first thing I did was clicked on launch instance. The one I did was a Windows instance, so I went down to my virtual Windows server, which is this one right here. I'm sorry, it's this one right here. This one is part of the free tier. Next thing I did was show the type. I used this one because it's free. Next, I did review and launch because there are a lot of features that you can add and change, but for this project, since it's simple, we're not going to change them. This is just explaining that, I should add a security group. I'm going to show later on how to manually go in and add a security group. Now, for this one right here, this is when you have to create a key because you need the key to connect to your instance. Now, you have three different choices. You could choose an existing key from previous instances that you have. You can create a new key, or you can proceed without a key. I created a key for my different one. As you see here, it's my I call it a K key. We're going to cancel this because I already have an instance that's up and running. So the next thing we did, this is the instance that I currently have up and running that works. What we have to do is scroll down here to security group, and we have to find our instance that we used, this one, and click inbound. Now what we have to do is we have to make it so we're able to connect to our instance from we have to make it that we have to be able to connect to our virtual desktop from outside, from different computers. We have to open port 80, we have to open port 443, and we have to open port 3386. Port 80 allows for incoming traffic to communicate with the instance. This allows for the virtual desktop to connect to with our instance. So the next thing we're going to do is go into our instance. What we have to do is click on our instance, click on connect, and it's going to ask us to get the password. To get the password, we have to access our key that we created when we created our instance. As you see here, and this is my key, my kkey.perm, and you must keep track of where your key is because without your key you cannot connect to your instance. And as you can see, it downloaded my instance. This is my key right here in my download folder. I chose it, and the key is encrypted, so you have to decrypt the password so you can get this password right here. I'm going to copy this. Now this downloads the actual virtual desktop. The virtual desktop is what we're going to use to replicate our server. I already have that downloaded, but we're just going to download it again for sake of time. And then we're going to open it. This is just saying that it's from an unknown publisher. This is just saying that it can't verify the source of it, but since I know the source, we're just going to click OK. Now it should have popped up what should have been a way for us to connect to our instance with the password that we got after we decrypted the key. But since I already had the instance running, it automatically popped up. So this part right here is my code for my PHP site. It's just basic PHP code. What I had to do, so you can connect to my server from outside, is go into the config of the Apache, and we have to change the home page of the My Apache server, which is with this right here. This command line right here is saying. This one is saying to look into my folder called P2, and this is saying to load up my my file called index that's in the P2 folder. So now once we had Accent running and we have Apache and MySQL, we can go to localhost. We can go to localhost, and this page will appear. Just to prove it, localhost. And as you see, this is what appears on my localhost. Now this is just inside of the server, so this is just like running it on your actual computer. But since this is a server and it's an instance, we are able to run it on any computer, anywhere. And we can either use the DNS or we can use the public IP. I'm sorry, the public DNS or the public IP. This is what we copy right here, just to show that it works. We can put it right here, paste and go. And as you see, it pops up, and this is my normal browser, and this is my remote browser. AWS is pretty cool because it allows you to set up servers, or it allows you to set up servers on the fly, on scale it, so you can scale them. So let's say like you just released, well, in the business world it will work where if you just released a new product or you just showed a commercial and you're expecting your traffic for your website to increase, you can go into Amazon Web Service and open many servers to be able to process all that data. And then let's say a couple of weeks later, well, once most of the traffic dies down, you can delete servers, and to save money, you can delete servers because it doesn't have to process that many data. And I just think it's pretty cool to be able to, have a server up and running. One of the problems I did have was, basic beginner problems. As you see, I have a bunch of instances right here. I know this one says working one, this one says working one, but the only one that works is this one right here. I had problems with them, and the coolest thing about being able to open up a server on the fly is that if you mess up, you can just delete the server, which is different from having an actual physical server and having to figure out what's wrong with it, because you can't just throw away a computer if something isn't working. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Thank you for watching my video, and hope it was